Would you like to become a fascinating personality, break free from plateaus, and gain power over your mental resources and your full potential? You came to the right place. Welcome to a magical journey to yourself. This show is made in Germany. If you like the show, please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or puremindmagic.club. Welcome to Season 1, Shaping Your Reality. And here is your host, international magician, speaker, and book author, Victoria Mavis.
Ladies and gentlemen, great that you have tuned in again to Pure Mind Magic. And before we start with today's interview, I have a special opportunity for you. You can get a free audiobook you can choose by yourself from thousands of books by clicking on the link in the show notes. You can test the whole service 30 days completely for free. I am now an affiliate partner of this platform because I think the service is really great and you can grab your audiobook and listen wherever you want, maybe in your car before you go to sleep or whatever. Choose your audiobook, and with that you also support the Pure Mind Magic podcast. So everybody wins, and now we get into today's interview. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pure Mind Magic podcast. And for today, I found a special guest from the United States, and she's called Dr. Jamie. She also hosts her own podcast, the Dr. Jamie Show, and she's really an expert on all the mental health issues, how to set goals, how to develop good habits, visualize, and live your life with more fulfillment and more success. So it's going to be very interesting today, and here is for you live Dr. Jamie.
Hello, thank you so much for having me today.
You're very welcome, and I prepared a lot of questions. I know you're short on time, so I will do my best to get all the answers out of you.
I love it. I will go as quick as I can for you today.
Very good. So, Dr. Jamie, you're the expert on mental health, and I think mental health is really the basis to be successful in life and to reach goals. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think goal setting is key because once you set your goals, you start devising a plan, you create visualizations, you create visions, and all of that is sort of what keeps you focused and prioritized, in order to achieve your goals. The more you know your goals and the more you have a vision and a mission in mind, the more apt you are to say no to extra things from the outside world that come in that have nothing to do with your bigger goal and mission. So often we find ourselves saying yes to people on the outside world, to tasks that mean nothing to us, tasks we don't even want to take on, but we just say yes to please people. And then we have all of these problems after we say yes that we have to deal with. We have to learn to manage our time better. We have to take things that we actually want to do and put them on the side and knock them to the curb so that we can do these tasks that we said yes to from someone else. And it's a task we don't even want to do. So the more you can stay focused on your goals and vision, the more apt you are just to truly succeed because you are focused on that and not the BS from the outside world.
Great. So do you have some tips how to develop a better focus?
Okay, so how to have a better focus? Yeah, so I encourage people to make a list of their top 5 life roles. These are people and things that you absolutely need and want in your life. And keep that sort of the center and focus of your world. Those become your priorities. And then when tasks from the outside world that come in, that would make you put one of those top 5 life roles to the back burner, those are the tasks you need to say no to. Because when your top 5 life roles are thriving and doing really well, that's when you feel really great in life. So maybe your spouse is a priority. There's a particular project at work that's a priority. You need to be on that list. You need to make sure you're a priority. Maybe a child's on there. But when any of those things are out of whack, any of those top 5 life roles just don't seem to be receiving enough attention, that's when you feel that balance in life where you're like, I just don't feel right. Like something's not balanced. If you feel that way in your life right now, list out the top 5 most important life roles to you and see if you are giving 100% to those roles. If you are not, that's the issue. That's where you need to give more attention. And again, essentially it's 4 life roles and you need to make sure you're on the list. If you're given to your spouse, if you're given to your job, if you're given to your kids, if you're given to your education, let's say you're a student, but you're not giving to yourself, you're not going to feel balanced and you're not going to be successful because you do have to give to yourself. You have to make yourself a priority. So I would say those are the key. Make the list of the top 5 most important life roles. Make sure that you're on that list. And when tasks from the outside world come in that will take you off focus of those 5 life roles, those are the tasks you need to say no to. And you need to say no confidently. And no actually shows self-control as well. So people might get mad at you for saying no, but the reality is too, they see the self-control that you have over your life.
That is very good advice, Dr. Jamie. So when I get you right, it's very important to value yourself first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when your mental health is down, your physical health is down, you're not performing, you're not giving that optimal performance. So I'll have clients that'll come and say, you know, Jane, I'm not sure. Is it the weather? I'm not feeling right in business. Like what's going on? I'm just not feeling right. I'm kind of in a funk this week. And my very first go-to is, how much did you work out this week? And for all of my clients, exercise is on your goal list. Even if you're going for, if we're focused on your education, if we're focused on your job, it doesn't matter. Exercise will really help with that optimal performance. It doesn't mean an hour a day. It doesn't mean training like crazy. It could be a 10-minute app on your phone. It could be a 20-minute walk. But exercise releases endorphins. It gets all those good chemicals flowing through your body, and it provides mental clarity and energy. Those are all things that you need to achieve goals. So yes, giving to yourself is important. If you're that person that's listening to this podcast and you're like, oh my God, Dr. Jamie just doesn't get it. I don't have time for exercise. I have been there. Just so you know, I don't have time for exercise either. But you have to make it a priority. You do have 10 minutes a day. I promise you, somewhere in there. Stop your social media. Stop just talking with negative Nancy in the office before work begins. Take an extra bathroom break for 3 minutes a day. Eat a sandwich while you're walking around the building of your work. You have 10 minutes. And if you can see a picture of me somewhere out there, I am far from obese, I would say. And I don't work out an hour every day. Do I work out 6 or 7 days a week? Yes. How many minutes do I work out? 15 minutes a day. I don't go over that because I don't have time, but 15 minutes a day adds up. It brings positive energy, mental clarity, and you feel confident in your own skin. And confidence is definitely something you need to be a success.
Wow, Dr. Jamie, that is really impressive that you're working out 6 to 7 times a week. I think really great. So you would say that physical exercise in the gym or wherever is directly connected to the inner world, the mental health, and performing at a peak level?
Absolutely. And again, it doesn't have to be at a gym. And yes, it sounds like, oh my God, Dr. Jamie works out 6 or 7 times a week. Guys, it's 15 minutes a day. We can find that. Start somewhere, start small if you can only do 5 minutes. But yes, it can be in your bedroom. It can be an app on your phone. They have 5-minute apps, that are 5-minute workouts on certain exercise apps. So if you travel a lot, your hotel room, you can do a 5 or 10 minute exercise. I know it doesn't feel like a lot, but 5 or 10 minutes a day for the whole year adds up. And it's doing much more than just, helping you lose a little weight here and there. It's really providing that mental clarity and that confidence in your own skin. So yeah, absolutely. Physical exercise, I believe, plays a huge role in our level of success because of the mental clarity it provides, the stress reduction it provides, and the confidence it can provide.
That is really practical advice, Dr. Jamie, and you're right on the mental clarity. So I always tell people I'm, as a magician, have to be very clear, very focused, and very present to be on stage and perform magic there, that everything works out. And talking about the mental things, I think to reach goals and to get this clarity, a lot of people are dealing with mental blocks. Maybe you can tell us how you would approach this problem.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different things, and I'm writing down some topics that I want to share with you. So the first one is rid of toxic people. So toxic people have a great way of instilling self-doubt in us, making us say yes when we want to say no. Sometimes they BS us. Sometimes they're super passive aggressive. All of those types of things can block your success, right? Especially the self-doubt. So that leads me to another thing, whether this is a toxic person or not. Our self-talk. Be really cognizant of the way that you talk to yourself. Many of us say the shouldas, wouldas, couldas again and again all day in our mind. I should have done this. I could have done that. Why didn't I do that? What was I thinking? And we really beat ourselves up hundreds of thousands of times a day. What is it like? The brain thinks like a billion thoughts per second. It's something like crazy, and to think that so many of them are, oh my God, I look so gross right now. I remember seeing this like study or this little activity or something at some point along my journey of women that walk by mirrors, and how they just look at themselves, and rarely any woman would say anything positive when they walked by a mirror and saw themselves. And I catch myself doing it, but it's our constant self-talk, and that negativity will decrease confidence. And again, confidence is what you need for success, for taking risk, for taking leaps, doing things bigger than you ever thought you could do. That takes confidence. And when you have that negative self-talk, that's creating a block for you to take those leaps. And then I think don't overthink things so much. We tend to, think and plan and overplan. And if this happens, plan A and B and C and D and F and double Z. And while I think you can plan and then have a plan B, sometimes you get in your own way when you just are so analytical and so precise about things. So sometimes it's important to be a little bit more confluent, a little bit more creative, and say, you know what, I don't know where this is going to go. I know this is a right leap for me, or a right step in the right direction. I'm going to go for it and build my wings on the way down. Is it scary as all hell? Yes, it is. But sometimes we have to just stop being super analytical. And then the last thing I'd say to kind of prevent the mental blocks is worry when it's time to worry. So often we spend all of our time worrying about something that never ends up coming true. So when you worry right now, you're ruining the present moment. And then you're hindering the energy that you might need if this worry ends up actually coming true, which is another problem. Sometimes we worry so much that we make this negative event come true. So worry is a block because there's so much anxiety. It's ruining the present moment. It's stopping your ability to be productive now and solution focused right now. So I would say kind of just like worry when you get to the problem and deal with it then. You'll probably have more energy.
Wow, that really was a long and very good answer, Dr. Jamie. Let's maybe go back for 1 second to the self-talk, because also as a magician I say magic words are very powerful, and the magic words are kind of old-fashioned, but there is so much power to what we say over and over again. So do you have a tip how to get hold of the negative self-talk?
Okay, so I do, but it's not what people want to hear. You have to be aware of it, and then you have to create a habit to change it. There's no secret. There's no, $1 million answer out there. You need to be cognizant of the way that you talk to yourself. So the first thing that you need to do is today, take time to hear yourself. So there was probably already a time today when you said, oh, I should have done this, or why didn't I do that, or what was I thinking? Start being aware of it. Just listen to yourself talk all day. So we're in our head all day, but we're not really hearing what we say. It's just like this autopilot that keeps going because it's such a habit. Listen to it. And once you can become aware of what you're saying, then you can take the steps to change it. So in a few days down the road, after you spend a couple of days hearing how you talk to yourself, what I would encourage you to do is every time you say something negative, if you can, cut it and then just like redirect the thought. If the full thought came to you, then I want you to restate it a different way. And this is going to take a lot of time. If you're 40 years old, 50 years old, 30 years old, 20 years old, listening to this right now, it took you 30 years to make yourself to think one way. It's not your thought process is not going to change by the end of this week. It is going to be a habit that you spend creating over time that will help you change the way that you talk to yourself. So it's a long process. And it's a process you need to be aware of. And it's kind of a job. If you care about the way that you talk to yourself and you want to be more confident, you have to understand there is going to be a little bit of work you have to put into this in order to change the way, the habits you've created on the way that you think.
Wow, you really developed mental clarity. I can hear that from your answers. So I would love to talk with you about visualization. So what are your tips on that? How to visualize goals or think we would like to attract, to manifest? What is the best way there?
Yeah, so visualizations are really powerful. There's a lot of research behind them. I believe there was this story of a woman who swam the Catalina Canal. And I want to say it was like 21.5 or 22.5 miles. She was half a mile from her goal line and she gave up. And in an interview after that swim, they had asked her, why did you stop? You were so close. And she said, it was so foggy, I couldn't see the end line. And so she swam it again and she achieved and made it the whole way. And in an interview after that, they asked her, what was the difference? Why did you make it this time? And she said, when things got foggy and I couldn't see the end line, I visualized the end line and I got there. So I think that says a lot. I have a personal example that I love to share on these visualizations just to show the power of them. So when I was going through my PhD program, I remember I probably wasn't even about a full course in, and I had to go to a seminar for the school. And there were 300 people in this room. And a professor gets up, one of the head professors, and he talks to us. And he says, I want you, and you to raise your hand. So there's 300 people, and he just points to 3 people randomly. And so 3 people raise their hand. And he goes, out of this entire room, only 3 of you will get your PhD, because that is the odds, 1%. And people were like, oh my God. And I was like, why would I be one of 3 people? Like out of 300 people, why would I be one of the 3? And I was very discouraged for a moment. And then he had us stand up. and he said, I want you to shake hands with the person to your left, and I want you to introduce yourself as Dr. So-and-so. So I introduced myself for the very first time ever in my life as Dr. Jamie Kulaga. And still to this day, when I say that, I want to cry and I tear up, because that gave me the visualization that I needed to get through my dissertation. After that day, I had years ahead of me. When I was in my dissertation, I just feel like my whole dissertation phase was crying and anger and frustration and rejection. And every time I wanted to give up, I said, hi, I'm Dr. Jamie Kulaga. And it felt so good. It gave me that momentum for the next hour to get through something. And so I challenge all of you out there, whatever you're trying to do, don't just think it. You need to be it. You need to act it. You need to breathe it. You need to say it. You need to believe it. So if you're going for that degree, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm the CEO of X company. Believe it, and hold yourself that way, and you will become it, because you become so focused on it. And you, I hate to use the word trick, but you trick your mind into believing you are this, that you will become that. So there's true power in visualizations.
Wow, Dr. Jamie, that is that is a magical story, really, from yourself. Wow, I like that. Kind of gives me goosebumps. So I think the listeners, in a few minutes, we will leave them wanting more. So in the introduction, I mentioned that you do have your own podcast, the Dr. Jamie Show. Can you tell us where to find it and what the show is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So the Dr. Jamie Show is a podcast on all your favorite podcast apps, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, soon to be Spotify. So some really great places. But the show is all about increasing success, likability, and happiness. So we have on guests that are experts in their field, and they just talk about, they educate you. They give you more value and insight into a certain area of life. And when you walk away, I promise you will walk away with something that has the ability to increase your success, happiness, or likability.
Wow, that's fantastic. And on your website, I also read something about the super work environment. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so it's based off the book. So I have a book called The Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment. It's a book on work-life balance. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just creating an environment around you, whether it's at home or work, that has more balance. But know going into it, if you follow these steps, there's activities along the book, you are going to gain that balance. But a lot of it comes through working on you and making you a priority. So that's sort of the foundation of the book, and creating that super work environment and that super life.
Good. So where can people find your book?
Yeah, you can go right to the website, drjamiek.com, or you can go to amazon.com and just type in my name, Jamie Kulaga, or The Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment, and it'll come right up for you.
Fantastic. So Superwoman, I really like that as a magician, because it reminds me of having superpowers. It's always helpful. So brings me to one of the last questions, because I found that you were a spokeswoman for British Airways. How did you land this gig, and what was it all about?
Yeah, so just some connections that I have in the community. There's a guy that I think British Airways had reached out to his company, and he asked me if I wanted to sort of, take on the role of a spokeswoman for this particular campaign that they have, and I would never say no to that. So yes. I said yes before he could even finish his sentence. It was such an honor. But yeah, essentially they did a study where they found Americans don't use much vacation time. And I went on to sort of say why it is so important to use your vacation time and get away. And when you do go on vacation, how to sort of have more of that balance, that work-life balance while you're traveling. You get some people that travel and they come back and they feel like they need a vacation from a vacation. You get people that travel and all they do is work and they never have their vacation at all. So I sort of just gave some strategies and tips about how you can get away and come back with not so much work and feeling mentally clear and fulfilled. So not needing a vacation from your vacation.
Ah, I see. So you would say that taking a vacation can increase productivity?
Yeah, absolutely. When done right. So, like before you leave, make sure that you're up to date with a lot of your work, that you delegate out what you could have delegated out, letting people know you're not going to answer your emails. So don't email you. You know how sometimes you come back to work after even if you just took a day off and you get these emails from coworkers that looped you in, or, hey, there's donuts in the break room. So when I come back from a trip to, let's say, Europe, right? I don't need to know that there were donuts in the break room 7 days ago. So just really telling them not to loop you in on those emails you don't need to be looped in on. And also being really aware of when you come back from a vacation. So let's say that I go on vacation for 7 days and I'm supposed to go back to work on Monday. It would not be smart of me to come back from, let's say, Europe on Sunday night when I have to be back at work Monday morning. Maybe I should come back on a Friday and give myself a few days to adjust to the jet lag, do my laundry, make my priority list for work and sort of get situated and organized before I go back into work. And that'll help me be more mentally clear after that vacation and more productive when I go back to work.
Oh, yes, Dr. Jamie. So I can see that you are really ahead of the mental game with all the thoughts you are thinking. Fantastic. So when the listeners would like to reach out for you, how is it best to reach you or connect with you?
Yeah, you can go to drjamiek.com. It'll link you to everything. I'm also on Facebook at Dr. Jamie Workshops and Coaching, Instagram, Twitter at Dr. Jamie Kulaga. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure if you just do a search, Jamie, Jaime, Kulaga, Kulaga, you will find me instantly on a bunch of different platforms.
Very good. So meaning that you also do coaching for people and for companies and do workshops. Did I get that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I keynote a bunch of events. I go into businesses and I help them sort of motivate and inspire their employees, give them the work-life balance. And then I have individual one-on-one coaching, whether it's face-to-face, FaceTime, Skype, phone. So whether you're here or in Germany, I got you covered.
Fantastic. So that sounds really good. And I think there's a lot of potential in your work and you can really help people to get more productive, live life with more fulfillment and success. So I'm so happy and so glad that I could talk to you today here in this interview. Thank you so much, Dr. Jamie, for being on my show.
Thank you for having me. It's much appreciated.
Well, magic creators out there, I hope you enjoyed today's interview with Dr. Jamie Kulaga, and I'm gonna put all her contact details in the show notes, as well as the offer from the beginning for you to pick your free audiobook and test the whole service for 30 days. That's all for today. So with this audiobook, you can turn, for example, your car into a mobile university. I do the same because it's Friday and I'm on my way to the next show tonight. It's a 3 hours drive, so perfect to listen to audiobooks in that time. The next week is a special week because it's the 1 week before Podcast Movement in Philadelphia 2018. I will be there performing magic and doing interviews. And for that, I decided to do a special, really special week with an interview from Monday to Friday. Expect for Wednesday because there is the mid-week motivation for you. So make sure to tune in on Monday again because this will be a really motivational interview with the Mr. Productivity on my show. You won't miss that. So enjoy the weekend and I'll talk to you on Monday of this special Before Podcast Movement week. Until that time, you have listened to Pure Mind Magic. My name is Victoria Mavis. Until next time, create some magic.